I only cook from scratch, but I'm still not losing weight. Good morning, how are we doing? That's what we're talking about today. Just on way to morning sessions. Another beautiful day looking like. So, I only cook from scratch. Really interesting one because, generally cooking from scratch, you're going to get whole ingredients, whole foods. You're going to be fuller. It's more nutritious foods generally. You know what's going in your food. These are all brilliant things. And just before I go into this, I'm not saying don't do this. I'm just saying if this is you. Hey, Pauline, give me a hello if you're coming in live. Drop a replay if you're on replay. So this is only if you are cooking them from scratch but not seeing the results you want. And this stems from a few conversations I've had where what's been happening is maybe there hasn't been time to cook from scratch. Okay, so this comes up a lot. I don't have time to cook from scratch today, but I only cook from scratch. The result is I maybe skip a meal and I grab something, biscuits, chocolate, or pick throughout the day, even healthy stuff like, whatever it could be, just picking throughout the day, but I've never actually sat down and got that meal in. The result of that is we actually eat more than we think when we're picking. Or we actually end up eating biscuits, chocolate, sweets, because we didn't have time to cook from scratch. Yeah, we didn't consider that we could have grabbed something and had it as a bit of a insurance policy, if you like a ready meal, something already done, as a frozen meal, like something as a bit of a backup that you've got to go to if needs be. Because although that's not the perfect option, although it's not gonna be cooking from scratch and it will break that rule, if you like, it almost pains me to say this, but a lot of ready meals today are actually really good. I sometimes look at them and think, how have you only made that 400 calories? How have you only got 400 calories in this little thing here? And you look at it and it's essentially whole ingredients in there. And I'm not saying you have to live off these, but having it as a tool in the toolbox, it's why we've actually got a whole week devoted to it if you're having a really busy week, because what's the alternative? Sometimes we put this pressure on ourselves to cook everything from scratch because, you see chefs on TV at Christmas, they're cooking everything from scratch, albeit they've been there for 8 hours and that's their job. We've got to consider sometimes that if life gets busy, stuff gets in the way, what can we have as a go-to backup? Some of the things I have as a go-to backup sometimes, like frozen berries in with Greek yogurt, is like a really backup plan for me. Scrambled eggs, omelette, stir fry, it's just great, just one pan. Stir fry, always have this, just like any veg, meat, soy sauce. It's like my just in case, and I can get a decent meal in it. But even that, then when we look back when we had this conversation, it was like, okay, yeah, come to think of it, I don't have time to cook from scratch today. So on those days where I don't have time to cook from scratch, I've either got to plan in advance, which again isn't always possible because you might have not anticipated the meeting that your boss threw it at you at the last minute, or someone's called you, or someone needs you, kids, etc. at the last minute when you were going to plan. So what about, I've got that ready meal, I've got that meal in the freezer, I've got that, then we've got that just in case meal, which I'm pretty sure, you might not think is perfect, but it's probably better than what you're going to pick up on the go. And it's those moments that might just make a difference to your overall day, how you feel, your energy levels. And let's face it, if your energy levels are up because you've had a proper meal rather than picking throughout the day, you're probably going to make better choices with your exercise. You're probably going to sleep better. And there's so much more of this. There's getting outside in the day. Are you getting protein in that meal? What ready meal is a good thing to do? And do I have to get low calorie ones? And I always say no. Like, I know some supermarkets do like balance-based meals where they've got a certain amount of protein, carbs and fats. And I would just say just look for ones with some good amount of protein in, as a bit of a backup. You can add more veg to it if you want to. But my point here is don't think that you have to be perfect with this. Don't think you have to cook from scratch, because cooking from scratch also doesn't mean you're going to lose weight at the same time. When I cook from scratch, sometimes I actually eat more because I'm picking and trying stuff, right? Not always, and generally, I would recommend you cook from scratch, just to finish on that point, because I wouldn't want to put people off doing that. However, the fewer choices you have to make, the better results are going to be, because you have to use less willpower then. The less willpower you use, the better results you're going to have. And that comes back down to planning and having to not use loads of willpower to make those decisions. So having a quick meal that takes 3-4 minutes that you can make whilst you're literally getting ready to go somewhere or getting your bag ready could just be the difference between you staying on plan and nipping to getting the coffee and cake, getting that. Not that there's any problem with that, but if it keeps happening and you're then annoyed at your results, it's an important question. If you're choosing to do something and you're happy with the way it's going, that's fine. But this is if you just want to change something that you're already doing, which won't add any time to your life, which could just be the difference between you getting a little bit better results. And this is about marginal gains, that 1% better every day. So I hope that helps. Off to morning sessions, muscle strengthening, high intensity, low intensity. And then we have our arms again workout. So I'll see you soon. Take care.